English translation, 336th contact. Sunday, 16th of February, 2003, 09 to 13 hours.
Ah, you have been waiting for me. Welcome and greetings. Has there been a wedding? Is this the surprise?
It pleases me to see you well. I also offer you my greetings. No, there has been no wedding. What makes you think that?
I agree with Florena's words.
We were wondering in the kitchen what might be the surprise that you, Florina, were announcing. Freddie said that maybe Sim Ya Se would come here, while I said that maybe there would be a wedding.
No, it has nothing to do with a wedding. The surprise is based on the fact that we have a joyful message from Todd to deliver to you.
Ah?
Ptah sends you the information that his expedition is successful in its search for human life.
This is indeed a surprise. What kind of human beings were found, advanced, or highly developed?
If by your question you mean human first life or human life already capable of high technology, then this is not true. It is neither low-developed nor highly developed life. The life forms found live in natural caves and are therefore still very primitive forms, but nevertheless capable of reason and conscious mind.
Cavemen, then. Then they will have some tools, right?
As Ptah reports, the found human beings have various stone tools and weapons made of polished or split stones. So they are in possession of self-made stone clubs, knives and spears.
Then one finds that the development takes place similarly, as it did on our good old Mother Earth.
That is right, because wherever human life is created on planets, the same developmental phases and developmental processes naturally take place.
So, not only in our universe, but in every one that has a gross material belt and therefore stars, galaxies, and planets, and comets, space nebulae, meteors, and everything else?
Your assumption is correct.
But the expedition will continue?
That is the case, yes. The expedition will go on for some months.
I did not think Ptah would return so soon. But since you are here, it is a good thing that you are here, because I want to ask you about an agenda item from our meeting on the 2nd of June 2001. Is it possible that you can retrieve some information from your records?
It is possible, but it will take some time. What do you want to know?
It is about the fact that at that time we discussed the problem of anonymity regarding our correspondence in the sense that we generally do not handle anonymous letters and inquiries, etc., but throw them into the trash or delete them on the internet. Yesterday we had a special session where this problem was raised again for certain reasons, which I am sure you have recorded on the control panel and perhaps already retrieved, right?
No, that has not happened yet, because the time for that will be at the end of the month.
Also good. So, as a result of something that happened, the subject mentioned above came up again yesterday, and it turned out that only a few group members were able to remember the decision taken and the actual facts of the agenda item of the 2nd of June 2001, while the majority of the group members had no memory of it. And I was attacked that the subject in question, as I had called it, had not been dealt with literally, which is why I had unjustly attacked and reprimanded various group members in the last few days. I do not want to say now what it was all about, which led to the dispute, in order to receive an answer from you that really corresponds to what was discussed and decided at the time. So I would just like to say that it was just about anonymous inquiries to our group. If you can go through your records from this information and tell me what was really discussed at the mentioned meeting. If I should be in error and have created a false memory in me concerning something that did not take place, and thus would only correspond to an imagination on my part, then I would have to be in the wrong and apologize to those whom I drove into the cart.
The matter can be resolved, but unfortunately not from here.
It is not a problem because I am going to go and sort it all out. but it is going to be a while before I get back here. In the meantime, have a good chat.
And away goes the dear child. I might as well ask you about the exact situation when you told me that I should inform those responsible for the internet that for security reasons, no foreign articles, etc. should be placed on our website.
My advice was that no extensive writings of persons outside the group should be published uncensored in the group's own publications of any kind if the persons outside the group are not personally known to the group members and they do not know their attitudes, etc., or if the persons outside the group do not have data, etc., that can be verified. The justification for this lies in the safety of the group members, as well as the mission and existence of the group and all its work and belongings. It should be remembered that intelligence and terrorist facts, information and plans, etc., are spread all over the world through coded written works and can thus cause great harm. And whoever distributes such coded writings, etc., consciously or unconsciously, on the one hand, makes themselves complicit in murders as well as Secret Service and other terrorist actions, and on the other hand, there is the danger of legal proceedings, because the distribution, consciously or unconsciously, of terrorist and politically dangerous written material is punished by law. And indeed, there is also the danger that covert secret services and terrorists, or their followers and sympathizers, may sneak in with written material, which would endanger the whole mission and could destroy the group and cause the loss of all its belongings. In order to avoid this, it is urgently necessary that foreign writings are rewritten in their sentence formation by the group members responsible for it in such a wise that the sentence progression is changed. This ensures that coded words and sentences lose their basic coding value and a meaningless coding mess is created, through which no more hidden messages can be transmitted and thus no damage can be done.
And if I have understood correctly, then this only refers to statements, paragraphs and articles, etc., but not to simultaneous conversations or direct questions and answers in a running sequence, which cannot be coded due to the rapid sequence.
This meaning is contained in my statement. But if it is all right with you, I would like to discuss some private matters with you, for which we can use the time until Florina comes back. These are purely personal matters concerning the understanding of creational laws.
Of course. Go ahead. I am all ears.
The problem of my incomprehension is rooted in this.
Here I am again. Am I interrupting your conversation?
I was just explaining my problem to our friend here. I would like to hear his answer and explanations. You can listen in and learn something. You know my problem.
Gladly. Thanks. What I have to explain I can always bring up afterwards.
Now then.
Thank you for your explanations, which help me a lot. Then Florina can make her report now?
Of course, if there is no further question.
No further question.
For my part, I have no question either. So I will now report. You, my friend, asked what happened on the 2nd of June 2001 at your general meeting regarding anonymous letters to your group at the group meeting. One of your topics of negotiation was indeed facts of anonymous letters in the form of various concerns, which, according to an old group decision, you are disregarding and destroying. According to my brief clarification, this decision already leads back to the time when you first founded the group at your old place of residence in Hinwil. A decision which was then revised and confirmed in 1977 in your present center in the present living quarters of Engelbert and Maria, and since then has been observed as a rule, but only as a rule, since there have been exceptions in this regard in connection with the Internet. This was also the reason why on the 2nd of June 2001, the facts concerning anonymous letters were again brought before the General Assembly and discussed. the language of which was that the disregard and destruction of anonymous letters was of general validity in every area of correspondence and telephone calls. In particular, the issues related to the Internet were addressed, with the specific mention that, due to the general validity of the resolution, no email correspondence and no forum question replies may be conducted or carried out unless the full identity and address of the persons concerned is known. Accordingly, a unanimous overall group decision was taken that appropriate information should be created and made available for email correspondence and for the forum. Responsible for this were those group members who are considered responsible for all Internet matters.
You mentioned the forum. Was it mentioned literally, or did the whole thing just fall under the general term?
The notes show that the term forum was mentioned literally, besides the fact that the form of correspondence was also mentioned in general terms. Why do you ask?
Because I was accused of unfairly driving certain members to the cart, and the talk was not, and in no wise about the fact that the anonymity clause also applies to the forum, that no anonymous letters are answered.
This assertion is not true because our records show that the forum was indeed spoken about literally.
Some of the group members may actually remember, but most of them do not, so once again I look like a fool. They also refer to the minutes, which of course, as is often the case with important matters, do not record these things.
It is simply incomprehensible. Although complaints have been made again and again, and also by Ptah, that the group members at the meetings do not pay enough attention, but only superficially follow the course of the meeting and the matters to be discussed, although attention in this regard carries a very great responsibility, and also in relation to the recording of all the necessary facts, it is quite obvious that not enough attention is paid, which inevitably leads to disputes and pointless discussions and other unpleasantness. If every member of the group would participate in the general meetings, etc., in a clear and alert consciousness, many damages, many pointless disputes, and many unkind and bad words could be avoided.
These words correspond to what I too have to say. Often it seems that the general meetings, etc. of the group are attended only reluctantly by different members of the group, with various of them often letting themselves be overcome by tiredness and indifference, following all the matters to be discussed only as if in a state of twilight or disinterest. All this leads to the fact that decisive things that should be remembered are not realized in any wise and are therefore not consciously registered or simply forgotten quickly. It would be very desirable if those who are fallible in this respect would finally recall their duty and responsibility, because it simply cannot be that everything continues in the old reprehensible style and again brings damage, displeasure, bad words, and pointless discussions and disputes.
Your words in the fallible ear.
That is to be wished. But now it is time to say goodbye again, and give you the greetings of Ptah and Simyase and Quetzal. Sahlami, my friend.
Goodbye. Also greetings to the group members.
Salome, and also give my regards to everyone.